Hey guys, welcome to day one of the Cognition Startup vlog series. We did day zero yesterday where we just introduced the series. Today's going to be very short. It's just going to be a preview of where we're at with the MVP and where we're at with the designs. And it's just a preview, so you guys, if you're following along, watching this journey, you can kind of see where we're at later when you're kind of catching up with how we got here. So it's pretty non-glamorous, but that's what it is when you're starting a new software product. You're just building something and it's kind of head down working. And so I'll just kind of walk through what we have right here. So we have basic web app going. We can go into my apps. You can see apps that we have, and we can create an app. Let's call this test 123, and let's just create a usability test app. And as an example, we can just say go to input URL and usability test it. And obviously you would have more detailed instructions on a real app, and you would expect some feedback from the user. And please provide feedback. So this is basically an example of building an app with our web interface. You can also define it in code alongside your version controlled software code, and then you can just push it through our SDK that way. But this is just an example. Obviously a real app would be extensive. You would have detailed instructions for the person, probably multiple steps and multiple inputs and outputs, but this is just a demo, so we're going to save it there. So we've created the app. We see we have test-123 as the app's name. We can expand our instructions. We see that we have one input and one output. Our output is the feedback. Our input is the URL to be tested. So let's go ahead and create a new process from this. Let's call it usability test 25. Give it a budget of 10 cents as an example. And pass in google.com, deploy it, and now we're taken into the process room. You can see we have a virtual meeting room that pops up. I could share my screen, and this is very handy when you have multiple people doing the same process. I can also leave it if I'm the only one in that process. We have chat as well. Chat down here. This also serves as a log of progress. We post status updates and things to this. If there were multiple steps, they would show up here. You can see I'm on step number 1 and feedback. If I had passed a URL to this when I deployed it, then when I complete this process, all of the outputs would be posted to that URL. Again, this is primarily designed to be used from the SDK, and we have the SDK on NPM. And you can just complete this. Oh, great, errors. Okay. Well, it is an MVP after all. So it was working just a little bit ago. And the point of this video is just to really show you kind of where we're at with the MVP so that you can get an idea of how we progress. So maybe at this point you just want to skip forward and see where we end up, 10 days later or something like that. But this is where we're at in terms of design in the Figma file. I'll just jump through here. I think it looks a little cleaner in the new design. The apps look a little cleaner. You're going to be able to see the available workforce, whoever's online right then. You can see the details screen here. There's going to be an example deployment code using our SDK. Ratings, reviews, issues. Going to have an app store. We already have that. API keys and integrations, referrals page. This is coming soon, probably in the next few days. We'll have referral link tracking up and live. Right now, it's a blank page. Settings, still in progress. And then this. So if you actually go into a process room right now, you can see that it's kind of messy. Needs some help. But the design's here, so if you check back in the next day or two, um, you'll see the updates. Sub-processes, let's look at what that looks like now. As you can see, it's kind of ugly. Again, the point of today's video is just to kind of show you where we're at today with our MVP. And that way you can kind of get a feel for the progress that we're making as we release subsequent updates. Anyhow, I think that's a long enough video. You guys have seen basically where we're at with the MVP, and let's see if I can do a quick test. Sub process here, and let's just do a quick sub process and deploy that, and we should have created that process. So we have this one, which I can rename, and then we have this one, which is a sub process. So super ugly super MVP, and that's where it's at right now. I like a quote from Reid Hoffman. I think he said, if you're not embarrassed of your first MVP, then you've launched it too late. So maybe I should go ahead and launch this right now. Well, hopefully we'll launch within the next week or two and start getting a couple beta users. Again, right now we're at 0 active users. But within a week or so, we should be at a point where we can start to let people actually use this. And hopefully the product will look a lot nicer and work a lot nicer in the next week. So that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed if you're following along the journey, and we're going to see you tomorrow. Bye.